Hi everyone, thank you all for joining us and welcome to our live show on our Glamrs main page. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ayesha. If you've been following our live shows, I'm sure you guys know me by now. Um, so today we have a very special and really relevant live planned for you guys. And it's been quite in demand as well. A lot of you have been asking about how to boost the immune system because right now it's more important than ever to have a strong immunity and to be at your healthiest so that you can fight off any illnesses, whether it's coronavirus, cough, cold, flu, whatever it might be. So we've actually got an expert with us today who's going to be talking to you about immunity boosting foods, nutrition, and everything that you want to know about. So what you can do is put your questions in the comments below. I see we've already got a ton of questions from before our live show has even started. We're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. So we would love to hear all of your questions. We're going to try to answer them as many of them as we can. So make sure that you're putting them in the comments. And we're going to have Neha Ranglani join us in just a few seconds. I think she'll come on right now. Hi, Neha. Thank you so much for
Hi,
joining us.
Aisha. Thank you so
Hi.
much.
So for everyone, I just want to introduce you really quickly. So everyone, this is Neha Ranglani. She is an integrative nutritionist and a health coach. And she's going to be helping us out today and giving us some really great information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Um,
you.
do you want to tell everyone a little more about yourself and what you do as well?
Sure. So I'm an integrative nutritionist, health coach, plant-based food coach, and I'm also a lifestyle influencer. I basically help people find the root cause of their problems, so be it diabetes, PCOS, thyroid, cholesterol, and help them reverse it naturally by integrating a lot of factors of their life, and that is food, stress, sleep, sources of happiness, basically uh, treating them as a whole and not one part or one symptom. So uh, that's how I also help them to get health independent and take charge of their own life. And I also teach people some healthy plant-based delicacies through my online classes, and also I'm
Got
also
it.
coming up with my breakfast recipe book now very soon. So
Okay.
that's the thing. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I have my clinic in Bandra,
Yes.
Mumbai.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think we'll just dive right in. I'm sure everyone has a ton of questions, but we'll get to those in a few minutes. Just before we started, I wanted to ask you to kind of explain to everyone, like what exactly immunity is, because we talk about it so much, but like what is it exactly, and how does it play such an important part in our life? If maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we are actually alive because of our immunity. Just like, we have soldiers at the border protecting us from, unwanted people in our country. Just like that, we have our immune system. And our immune system are like these, group of soldiers who protect us from all the, wrong pathogens, microbes, toxins that come into our body through food, lifestyle, stress, pollution, and all of that. And it's the immune system which decides what needs to stay in and what needs to get out of the system. So it deactivates all the harmful substances and throws them out of our body. So at this time, especially during this pandemic, I think the only potent weapon that we have is our immunity to fight this. So if our immunity is strong, it will clearly do its job well, and you will clearly not see massive damaging health effects on your body, be
Yeah.
it with the corona or with any other virus or bacteria or any other infection that's coming into you.
Absolutely. So I think I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but one of the biggest things that affects immunity is, of course, food and what we put into our body. So again, before we get to some questions, can you touch a little bit on how it is that food plays such an important part in immunity, and what exactly is the importance of eating the right foods?
Right. So, food is the raw material, right, for everything that we build inside our body. We eat food so that we can make all the hormones, the neurotransmitters, and our cells get the energy to do their job well. So they are like these tiny, little laborers you have inside your body, and 75 trillion of them who are working just to keep you
Yeah.
alive. So they need to get the energy, they need to get the right kind of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, so that they can do their job. So when we talk about immunity and food, immune system is basically uh, we cannot miss out on talking about the gut, because our gut is the house of the immune system. 80% of our immunity comes from the lining of our gut. So when our gut is healthy, and thanks to the food we eat, which affects our gut positively or negatively, determines our immune system and the health of our immune system and its strength, basically. So you cannot, food is the first line of defense for your body in terms of immunity, gut health,
Yeah.
hormones, and all of that.
Absolutely. So, and I guess, I mean, food is important for our insides and our immunity, but it's also equally important for our outside and our skin as well. And we get a ton of questions about this. I think we have maybe 50 questions already that are asking about skin health and its relation to food. And we have some asking about how to get glowing skin, what foods to eat, and about acne as well. So, what can you tell us about foods relating to skin health?
Okay, so before I touch upon foods for skin health, I want to talk about foods for gut health, because this is very
Got it.
interrelated.
Yeah.
So, if your gut is healthy, basically all diseases start from the gut, because this tube is the only basically organ which is directly connected to the outside world through the food we eat. Like, we only
Yeah.
let things come into our body through our mouth, and
Yeah.
that directly gets into our digestive system. So, what you eat and what you sort of consume will determine the health of this system, and
Yeah.
from there on, the absorption and assimilation of the nutrients that you're eating. So when we talk about skin, our skin is an external aspect of our living. Like, it's the external part of us, right? So if this is unhealthy, it clearly is mirroring what's happening inside your body. So if
Inside.
your
Yeah.
inside is not healthy, your skin is going to show, and it's going to turn up as unhealthy, with acne, with pigmentation, with all the signs which we clearly don't want to see on us. So to take care of your gut, first thing, you need to include a lot of anti-inflammatory foods, and you need to take off the inflammatory foods, and this goes for skin health as well.
Yeah.
So when we talk about anti-inflammatory foods, we're talking about foods which are grown on a plant and
On a
not in a
plant.
plant,
Yeah.
and not in a plant, which I told you earlier as well. So
Yeah.
the whole point is that the more natural, the more wholesome you eat, the more nature provided foods that you eat, the better your immunity, your gut, and your skin will be. So your fruits, your seeds, your nuts, your sprouts, all the vegetables, including potatoes and sweet potatoes, including greens. If your diet majorly 80% consists of this, you're in a good state of health. And when we talk about anti-inflammatory foods, which actually
Yeah.
damage your gut and which make the immune system go mad, because the immune system feels that, oh my God, something's coming which I really need to get rid of, and there's a lot of inflammation in the body thanks to that. So these are the foods like your dairy. Thanks to all the hormones and antibiotics and injections that are all going into the milk today, because of the excess demand, and these foods actually block our gut. So dairy anyways has a lot of hormones because it's coming from
Yeah.
another animal, and
Yeah.
these hormones play negatively with your own hormones in the body, and that affects your gut health, your skin health, and all of that. So for acne, if you're asking me, for acne, dairy is the first food which you can try eliminating. The
Yeah.
second being wheat. So the kind of wheat that we are eating today is really hybrid. Again, the demand is really high. So for any food, if the demand is high, you are going to have adulteration. You're going to have a sort of a food which is foodless, which basically is meant to supply or to feed the population, but not clearly very nourishing, because
Yeah.
it's tampered. So
Yeah.
it's important that you try eliminating wheat, and the gluten affects the gut. It causes leaky gut with the quality of wheat we eat today. And if that's the case, your skin will really be dull and unhealthy, and you'll see a lot of unwanted symptoms on your skin. Also allergies and psoriasis and eczema and all of
Yeah.
that. So that's the second one. The third is refined sugar. I think we all know what refined sugar does. It's clearly poison for our brain, for our cells, and it's as equal as as cocaine and all the other drugs, because it
Yeah.
it actually it actually activates the opiate receptors in your brain, which the drugs do as well. So it has very similar effect, but we think of it as very innocent.
Yeah.
So those are the foods. Then a lot of tea, coffee consumption can dull your skin, because it really causes inflammation. It's a very strong stimulant, which also dehydrates the liver. So it's not great. And refined oils, having a lot of chemically processed oils,
Yeah.
very unconsciously putting a lot of oil in your food, thinking that the food will turn out to be tasty, or eating a lot of fried foods which are
Yeah.
fried in refined oil. all these can add to a lot of skin problems, gut problems, immunity problems. So you see how
Yeah.
all are interrelated.
It comes together, yeah. So we have a bunch of questions here. One is from Vinoda An on YouTube, one of our YouTube members, who's asking, does any food or drink help to reduce acne? So I obviously you touched on this and you did answer it in terms of what foods cause acne, but to prevent it, do you think it's more about not eating those foods that you said cause acne, or is there something that you can eat that will help clear up your skin and maybe help get more healthy looking skin as well?
Right. So when we talk about acne, we have to also understand that acne also happens because of a poor liver, poor immunity, and lack of movement in your body.
Hmm.
So when, I mean, we have like our urinary system and our bowel system are two major excretory systems, and our skin comes into play only when these two systems are not really doing very well. So the skin has to step in to sort of take care and make sure all the toxins start coming out. So um, if you have a lot of acne or you have a lot of skin issues, you're probably not detoxifying very well. You're not cleansing very well. So in that case, hydration is very important. So apart from what I spoke of all the foods that you need to eliminate, try eliminating those and see how your skin does. You definitely will see a massive, beautiful change in your skin. But if you really want to get one step ahead, I think you should include a lot of hydrating liquids in your diet,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
coconut water, lemon water, jaljeera. I mean, avoid all these colas, sodas, teas, coffees, which are really
Again, and they have sugar in
harsh.
them as well.
Yeah, either sugar, caffeine. These all things are like um, they put a load or burden on the body to sort of deal with, and we don't want to put that burden on our body. We want our body to be free flowing and enjoy the whole process of digestion and all. We don't want it to be like overworked up.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, if you hydrate well, you drink a lot of green smoothies, so have a lot of greens in your diet.
yeah,
Drink soups, which are very nourishing. So steamed vegetable soups are great options, which you could actually drink up. The more you drink your vegetables and the more you drink hydrating liquids, is the better your digestive system will do. Also, all the anti-inflammatory foods and all that I mentioned also improves your gut bacteria, right? So we have this whole garden of bacteria in our gut. Now we have the good guys and the bad guys. So if you have a lot of skin issues, probably you have more bad guys than the good guys. So that's all coming from the processed and the wrong foods that you eat, where the good guys get fed and they grow. So if you want to kill them and you want to grow the good guys, you got to eat all the natural foods, drink a lot of water, and all of that.
yeah. Okay, thank you. So we have a question that's come in on YouTube again, and this is from Krishna Mohan Rao. It's a very long question, but we'll kind of try to break it down. So she said, will you suggest some exercises as well as the best foods for gaining immunity, and for meals like breakfast, lunch, dinner? And what should we take for proteins in vegetarian and non-veg food? And I know we're going to cover a lot of this as the show goes on, but there's one part of this question that I really wanted you to address, which is the protein part of it. Because obviously in India, a lot of us are vegetarians, and that means we don't eat meat. So maybe our protein source is different than someone who does eat meat. So, what can you suggest for someone who's a vegetarian and to really get the adequate amount of protein that they need?
All right. So I'm a vegan myself, Aisha, just to let you know. So if you're asking me about protein, it clearly is completely manageable to get your protein. Protein is not the god of nutrients. Of course, it's important for your skin,
Yeah,
for hair, for repair, and for muscles and all of that. But we've forgotten that there are other nutrients that are also important, like magnesium, zinc, calcium,
yeah,
your iron.
iron,
There are
yeah,
other vitamins, minerals which are very important, D3, B12, and all of that. So when we talk about protein and we say, oh my God, I'm a vegetarian or a vegan and I'm not having meat, how do I get my proteins? You don't need to fret. Your complete balanced diet will give you the protein it needs, because your body needs amino acids, not protein as protein. It doesn't need muscle when you eat like a muscle or an animal food. It
yeah,
needs proteins in terms of amino acids. So all your foods have amino acids. So if you eat a balanced diet with nuts, seeds, greens, pulses, sprouts, and all of that, you do get your amino acids, and the body then forms the protein chains, and for the muscle repair and development, and for your neurotransmitters, for your hormones, and all of that, for your hair. So balanced diet is the key. So include a lot of do sprouts. Sprouts are great in protein. You could do
yeah,
organic non-GMO tofu. You could do chia seeds, which are super in protein. So Quinoa is great. Amaranth is great source of protein. Your greens are a very good source of protein. They
Yeah.
have very potent protein. You could add moringa in your diet. You could add spirulina. These are the things which really have good amount of protein. And if you eat balanced, you should not worry.
Okay. I hope that answers the question. Obviously, we'll be answering more of the question as we get through the show. We'll take one more question now before talking a little more about immunity. And this one is from our Facebook user, Amna Sumro. And she says, Hi, I'm 47 and I just keep putting on weight, though I don't overeat. Is it premenopausal? So, is there something that you can say for her or answer this question?
Sure. So there could be a lot of reasons, Amna, right? There could be a lot of
Yes.
reasons for you putting on weight. First of all, the body holds on to a lot of fat and weight when it feels unsafe, when it feels insecure, when it feels it has to store fat as a source of energy. Now the insecurity or the unsafety can come from a lot of reasons. That could be wrong food. That could be less food. Under eating can also cause your body to think that there is a famine, there is a scarcity, and it needs to hold on to the fat. So under eating is not very good practice to lose weight. If you think that was helping you, that will not. So it could be food, it could be lack of sleep, it could be just constant state of stress which you're not aware of. It could be hormonal imbalance, it could be perimenopause, definitely it could be. But that would we could only determine through your symptoms and what you are facing right now. But in a nutshell, it is majorly to do with your lifestyle and what you're doing in your day-to-day life, which is causing your body to hold on to all that fat. And even if there is a perimenopause or there's a hormonal imbalance, that can be corrected through lifestyle. So understanding this thing in a deeper sense would be more important before I comment anything. But yes, you need to figure out what in your lifestyle is not right. Are you
Yeah.
sleeping less? Are you stressing out a lot? Are you not exercising?
Yeah.
Or are you doing the wrong kind of exercise? Or even are you over exercising? That can also make you put on weight. So
Okay.
could be any factor.
Okay, great. I hope that answers your question, Amna. So we have another question. This one is from Sakshi Shukla, and she's actually asking the opposite thing. She says, I eat a lot, but I'm not getting fat. She's not putting on weight. What should I do? And I know a lot of people, we have tons of questions about weight loss, but we also have a fair amount of questions about weight gain because I think a lot of people don't find a lot of information about that. So, what can you suggest for her?
Right. So weight gain is not as easy a process as we think of eating all the food that's in front of us and oh wow, you'll gain all the weight. So burgers, pizzas, and all of that. In fact, that's more damaging because your liver, your heart, and your kidney has to do all the processing that it has to
Yeah.
of all the wrong foods that you eat, and it's not good. Whether you want to lose weight or gain weight, that's not good. So to gain weight, you need to first and foremost figure out your sleep and stress patterns because they can lead to a lot of muscle loss, and then
Yeah.
look into foods which are going to help you build the muscle. So, all your good complex carbs, your potatoes, rice, your bananas, natural, simple, wholesome food, and your nuts, nut butters are great options.
Yeah.
Um, but you also need to think of it from your digestive point of view. If your digestion is not very good, no matter what you eat, you're not going to absorb and assimilate, and hence it's not going to get to your muscles, and that's not going to show you the results that you want to see. Also, exercise is extremely important. So
Yeah.
if you're not working out, if you're not breaking and repairing your muscle, you're not going to see the change in your body. So just figure out which factors of these are sort of missing in your life, and I think you'll find your answer.
Yeah. So I think we've answered a few questions. We'll talk a little bit more and then get to a few more questions. But the next thing I wanted to ask you, we've talked so much about food, but as big of a part that it plays, it's not the only thing that affects immunity and our nutrition and our health. Um, I know there's obviously stress, sleep, fitness, all of that plays a part. So
Yeah.
can you touch on those things a little bit as well and talk about how important they are?
So yeah, like we said, immunity, your food is important, your gut is important, but also your state of being is very important. So whether are you constantly under a state of stress which you're not aware of, and are you like just not getting enough sleep? You're trading your sleep for some other thing that you want to do, like binge watch television or probably stay awake in the night on social media or anything of that sort, or probably you're just not happy in whichever state you are in your life. Maybe you're not happy in the job, you're not happy in a relationship, maybe you're just not happy with what you are at. All these emotions play a massive role in your immunity and the way your immunity shapes up, because all this is stress. So if you don't sleep
Yeah.
well, if you're thinking negative, if you're very fearful, like the fear that we are facing today, if you're under constant state of fear about the future, or if you're just not happy, all these will play a role, because your cortisol levels go up, your stress hormones go up, and that shuts your digestive system. And clearly, if your digestive system is shut, where's the immune cell going to be
Yeah.
produced? Like connecting it to back to the gut, right? When we spoke about that.
Yeah.
So you see the connection now. And also, it causes bad bacteria to grow because there's more cortisol. It causes your liver to shrink because your liver has to do. So basically, stress is good if you have to deal with a situation like a lion in front of you, or if you're just there's a car which is really going to crash you, and you need to run away from it. That kind of stress is good because it's
Healthy.
momentary.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It helps you to save your life. It's momentary. After the stressful situation is over, your stress levels come down and things come back to normal. But the kind of stress we are taking today is chronic, and they're these subtle stressors of our life, right? They're not like a line, like write a line in front of us, but there are these tiny pressures, like unhealthy relationships, pressurized jobs, and things like that, where you're in constant state of stress. And that kind of stress causes your liver a, a big damage,
Yeah.
because your liver absorbs all the excess
The
cortisol that you
toxins and
release.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because your liver cannot let that free flow in the blood. So it has to absorb. And once it absorbs that, the liver detoxification, the process of liver reduces, and hence it's again all interconnected, and then affects your immunity, your bowels, your gut.
Got it. Okay, great. So I think we'll move on to a few more questions now that we've talked a little bit more about everything else other than food. Um, so we have a question that's come in on Facebook from Nagar Achal, and she's asked, please suggest some home remedies for a recurrent UTI. And I think this is such a maybe it's a topic that's not talked about so much for women, but it's
Right.
incredibly painful and it's a big struggle. So, are there any foods or like drinks that help with this?
Yes, so there are a couple of things that, of course, hydration, like I told you, is extremely important, because
Yeah,
when we spoke about urinary system and the bowel system.
yeah,
So if you have infection in the urinary system, clearly that system is not working well. So, and that could be because of the bad bacteria in your gut. Because of that, your immunity gets low, and
yeah,
then you sort of get infection in any part of the body where you're weak, or you're sort of prone to, I mean, where your body, where the bacteria can grow. So urine again is one thing, because if your liver is sluggish, it's toxic, and say all of it comes down to your gut, and then there's bad bacteria, and then all that blood gets filtered by the kidney, and the bacteria really is not getting killed by the immune system. It's not getting a chance to exit your body. It is going to cause damage to your urinary tract. So it's all coming from the above, right? So from the food you eat, like I told you, all the anti-inflammatory foods are great. You could drink barley water, which is great for urinary tract infection. You
hmm,
could drink coconut water. Lemon water is great, is super. Then you
okay,
could also do, if you get like good cranberry juice, which is like non-sugar added, you could do that. So berries have great antioxidants. So you need to include a lot of antioxidants in your diet. You could take certain supplements, like there's a supplement called D-mannose, which is like a sugar which helps you with free flowing urine, so that it pushes out all the bacteria. So basically you need to flush out
flush
more.
it out. Yeah,
Yeah, you need to flush it out more. So a couple of things, but also depends what's your cause of the urinary tract infection. Is it like hygiene conditions also matter. So if you have poor hygiene conditions, or probably you're washing your clothes with not the right kind of detergents, or it's too
yeah,
harsh for you,
or
all
even
this,
body
or
wash or something like
body
that.
wash and all of that. So there are a lot of factors, but you need to figure out what's happening for you. But the couple of things that I told you would really help you, so you could try doing that.
Yeah. So we have another question that's come in. I had it and it's disappeared slightly. But sorry, I'm just going to try to scroll through our questions and find it. Yeah, so it's from Rupa Vraj, and she's asking how to improve digestion. So, I mean, obviously, there's so much involved in digestion. And a lot of people are affected by indigestion or constipation, and so much of that affects a lot of people. So, what can you say for this?
So your digestion just doesn't happen in your stomach and your intestine. It
Yeah.
starts from your mouth. So you need to be very sure that you chew your food well if you want to digest, because these bigger pieces of food, if not digested well, they get into your large intestine where your bacteria is housed, and the bad guys then feed on it, and they produce a lot of gas and fermentation and bloating and constipation. So um, it all starts from chewing and eating mindfully. So not eating in front of a TV or a computer.
Hmm.
Connecting with
Which
your food.
I'm sure everyone's doing a lot of right now. So it's important to remember
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. Smelling your food well. Because when you smell your food is when the digestive juices, the brain recognizes. So our brain works with the environment, right? So it
Yeah.
senses everything from the environment through our senses. So when you smell the food well, the brain senses that there is good food coming in, and I need to prep the digestive system for digestion. So, just mindlessly eating like this and not even looking at your food does not give your brain that chance to tell the digestive system to prep up. So you need to do that. Also, emotions matter. So if you've had a fight with someone or are really upset, please don't eat food at that time. Do not consume anything, because, like I told you, under stress, your digestive system is shut. And when you put that
Yeah.
food in, it's like adding fuel to the fire. So don't do that. Don't do that, because it's just going to tax, and that food is going to stay in your gut, causing all the problem.
I
So
guess
before
that's why
start,
stress
yeah,
eating is such an issue. Yeah.
yeah, and it's a vicious cycle, because you're
Yeah.
eating that, but that's not getting converted to energy. So you're eating more and more and craving for more food. But don't eat. Do some breathing exercises, like just breathe well when you're stressed out, and then sit down to eat. Take like 5 minutes before you eat, get your senses back, collect yourself, center yourself, and then eat. Eating has to be a meditative process, not a mechanical process. So you need to do that. And of course, I mean, whatever we spoke about, your inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory foods, and all the antioxidant foods, that's all that you need to include to improve your digestive system.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered that.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, I wanted to move on a bit because I know you had some recipes and stuff that you wanted to talk to us about, and we actually have a question that's come in. That's a great prompt for this, and it's from Poonam Roy on YouTube, and she's asked, "Can detox water boost immunity?" So, could you share some recipes and maybe tell us a little more
Yeah.
about detox waters?
Yes, so detox water can help you. I mean, detox is a very overrated term, anyways. Our body is detoxifying itself every moment. It's trying to do that. But if your systems are not working well, it will not be able to detoxify. But what you could do is include a lot of lemon water. So, lemon, tulsi, pudina water, because these are all anti inflammatory, again, very high on their antiviral properties,
Yeah.
antibacterial properties. So, you could do that. You could do kanji, like you could do like carrot and beet kanji, which is again very simple to make. Just put it in water with a lot of salt and let it ferment for 2-3 days. And that water that you get is probiotic, is rich in good bacteria.
Yeah.
So you could drink that. Anyways, it's summer, so that drink is more cooling and refreshing than your tea and coffee. You could also do a spiced concoction. So what you could do is you could just put your sauf, jeera, ajwain, tulsi, and your other spices like cinnamon, cloves, elaichi, and make like a concoction of it. Strain
Yeah.
it and keep sipping that through the day. So great for your digestion. You can cool it and drink it as well. You don't need to drink it warm. Again, herbal teas are great options. So if you want to do like a chamomile, a jasmine, a tulsi green tea, which is great again, which you can add to your daily drink routine. And if we need to talk about certain snacks, then you could make some fun quick stuff like hummus with crackers. So you could do hummus, like a bell pepper hummus. You could do
Yeah.
moong bean hummus, which again I have a recipe on my YouTube channel. So a moong bean hummus with sprouts, a sprouted moong bean. Or you
Yeah.
could do, like the chickpea hummus we all know about. So you could play
Yes.
around like beetroot chickpea hummus. So you
Yeah.
could play around with the hummus, and you could do baked fries, baked potato fries, which again is very simple. You just steam the potato and then put it to bake, and you get baked potato fries. You could
Healthy
also do
version
sweet,
fries.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could also do sweet potato fries. You could do bliss balls. Like our laddus are called bliss balls now. So you could make like a date almond laddu. You could do like a
Yeah.
coconut cashew laddu with dates. So
Yeah.
all that is fun stuff
Yeah.
that you make and keep high on immunity. I mean, high on nutrients for your immunity, high on natural sugar. So you don't crave
Yeah.
for all the wrong foods. You could
So
do raw brownies. Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, we actually have a question I wanted to put in because it's quite relevant to this, and it's from Lipsy Ispil, one of our YouTube users, and they've said, "What should we?" And I think she's saying she's a sports person. What should we eat to increase our energy, strength, stamina, and especially being a vegetarian. So I just wanted to put that in, since you were talking about some of these recipes and some of these
Hmm.
food ideas, then maybe you could share something with her as well.
Right. So, Lipsy, I think you should include a lot of fruits. Roots and tubers have a lot of energy because they have a lot of mineral. They come from the ground. So our soil has a lot of minerals. So they inherently have a lot of vitamins and minerals. You should do more complex carbs because they give you sustained release of energy. So you don't feel low on your energy like ragi, jawar, brown rice. These are some great forms. Quinoa is great because it gives you energy with
Yeah.
protein. Amaranth is great, so you could do like an amaranth porridge in the morning. So these are some quick options which you can actually play around with. But try eating more natural, wholesome, your grains, pulses, and everything in place, and you'll get your energy. Again, nuts and seeds are great because they have fat, which is a
Yeah.
great source of energy. So do a handful of almonds, pistas, walnuts in the day, and I think you'll have good amount of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have one more question. This one is from one of our users, Miss Sania, and she's on YouTube. And she said, recently my grandma is suffering from mild fever. She's corona negative. Thank God for that, at least. So please suggest something. And I think I wanted to bring this up because right now everyone is obviously so stressed about coronavirus and that kind of immunity and preventing that. But no one's really talking about someone who might just have the common cough or flu and what they can do to kind of build their immunity to fight that off, especially for someone who
Absolutely.
is older. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Sanya, I think this is a very relevant question, not only for your grandma, but I think like Aisha said, for everyone,
Everyone.
because
Yeah.
even a slight cough and people look at you like you have done a sin, like it's become like that now, and I
Yeah.
think it's a little scary and a little spooky and stuff like that when you see such reactions. But what you need to do with your grandmom is rest. You have to tell her to rest and sleep as much. Your mild, your fever is just like how you boil water to kill the bacteria in your water. Your body is raising the temperature to kill a bacteria or a pathogen which it wants to get rid of, so
Hmm.
that it can not survive in the body. But don't flood your grandmom with a lot of medications unless she has some health issue and the doctor has told her to. But don't flood her with too many unnecessary medications and stuff like that. Rest is the biggest solution for her fever, and light food. So, like, if her digestive system is at rest and it doesn't have to do too much work, her immunity will shine out. Because if your digestive system is fully clogged, especially during fever, you don't have an appetite. So if you give her a lot of heavy foods, her system will not be able to digest, and then her immunity will suffer. So do very
Yeah.
light foods, like do dal khichdis, do a lot of soups, do a lot of fruits, fruit smoothies. You can give her a mango, it has a lot of energy. So give her a mango, give her a banana, it
Great.
will give her energy, plus it will give her digestive rest at the same time. Lot of liquids. So do lemon water, do herbal teas for her, do like homemade kada with tulsi, pudina,
Yeah.
lemongrass, ginger. Like ginger is great to fight the bacteria. So
Yeah.
ginger, lemon water. So these things will help your grandmom, and rest. And ask her
Yeah.
if she could do some breathing exercises. It would help her to oxygenate her body and get rid of the fever faster.
Okay, great. I hope that helps, and I hope your grandmother gets better as
I
soon
hope she
as
gets well
possible.
soon.
So I
Yes.
think we'll just cover a couple of more questions before we end with today's show. So we have one coming in from Tanisha Shokeen on YouTube, and she says, "Are eggs okay for girls to eat? Is this the case that it's due to its warm nature that maybe people are suggesting she should avoid it?"
No, I wouldn't say because of its warm nature or anything, but please understand the eggs that we are getting today are just hen periods. They're not even eggs. Like eggs are supposed to be mated,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah,
have like some quality stuff inside that egg. But right now the eggs that we are getting are all hormone produced. So if
yeah.
you eat that egg, you probably, and if you have acne and gut issues, you probably will not do well. So it's always
Okay.
good to eliminate for a few days and see, and then reintroduce and observe what changes you're feeling. And if you feel that, then probably it's to do with the hormones and your system is not taking it well. So listen to your body, connect to your body, and then eat the foods that your body enjoys, and not only your taste buds. So you need to be really balanced in that
It's a
sense.
balance, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I hope that answers your question, Tanisha. So we have one more question, and this one is also, it's a great question. I think it's from Ploy P on YouTube, who says, "Do you guys have any foods for when we exercise? I need some tips for post-workout foods." And
Oh
I think
yes, of
maybe if
course.
you can touch on even pre-workout foods, because personally
Yes.
I have experienced very often when I eat like a heavy Indian food lunch, and then even if I work out at 6 o'clock in the evening, I can feel the acidity coming up, and I
Hmm.
always regret it. So maybe you can end this show with giving us a few tips on like pre-workout and post-workout foods.
Sure. So the thumb rule is that you don't eat 1 hour before your workout. I
Yeah,
mean, ideally, if it's a fruit or if it's something liquid, then it's fine. But don't eat like a heavy meal till up till 1.5 hour before your workout. So, say you're working out at 6, your last meal should be not anything later than 4:30. And what you could eat as a pre-workout meal is fruits. You could do nuts because they add a lot of energy. You could
yeah,
do like some nice homemade, like we spoke about bliss balls or nice homemade bars made with oats and your nuts and seeds. These
yeah,
are some very nice quick pre-workout snacks. Now,
yeah,
if you want to do something post-workout, you could eat your proper meal after a workout. If you're doing like a cardio, if you're doing
yeah,
whatever, and you're not, I mean, I would not suggest everyone to take a protein supplement, but you could in general do a good fat, good protein, and a good carb meal after your workout.
yeah,
So you could do like probably like a nut butter with a cracker, with or maybe with a khakra. You could do like avocados with some gluten-free toast if you have, or some multigrain bread, or healthy, good quality bread if you have. You could do sweet potatoes with nut butters again, so that's
yeah,
good carbs and that's protein and fat
yeah,
coming in. You could also do like tofu. You could do sprouts. Sprouts are great. So in the sprouts, you could mix in some makhanas, some kurmura, some chutneys, and make it like a
yeah.
good chart and have that after your workout because you're getting
Great.
all of it. And put some nuts
My
and seeds
my
also.
mouth is watering thinking about all of this.
Yeah, and you can put in some nuts and seeds. You could also do like idli or dosa because it's sort of a good protein thing with coconut chutney. So idli dosa gives you carbs and protein with the chutney being the good fat. So
Great.
these are some quick options which you could actually do after workout, and you could eat a proper meal and nourish your body, yeah, and rest well after your workout.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay,
that's all
great.
that you need.
So I just wanted to like close out the show by asking if you have any last minute tips that you can tell us just about staying at our healthiest, building our immunity, just some last minute little like nuggets of information you can share with us.
Sure. Sure. I think for everyone at this time, getting within yourself is very important. So, a quick few minutes of meditation or breathing through the day can help you to get through the day beautifully. Also, what you could do is uh, invest some time in self love. So please don't self sabotage, self criticize yourself, or just don't be like, like, oh my god, I'm not enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. Just be accepting to
Positive.
what you
Yeah.
are. Be positive. Love yourself because we need that, and connect with your body. Your body tries to tell you everything that it needs. And if you connect with your body, and if you do what it says, you will be at your healthiest self. So invest time in hobbies. Do something that you love, that you enjoy. I'm not talking about binge watching television because that clearly is a different form of binging, which is running away from reality.
Yeah.
But actually connecting with yourself, like doing gardening, dancing, just quick workout, or maybe just some art, craft, painting, singing, anything that you enjoy, indulge. Try finding new things of what you enjoy, doing, and I think you will come out stronger, wiser, healthier after this quarantine period. Definitely.
Thank you. Those are really motivational words. I'm sure everyone needed to hear that as well.
Absolutely.
Um, so thank you so much for joining us and being so patient and answering everyone's questions. I'm sure everyone is really grateful. We're really grateful to have you here.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was great to have you. So
My pleasure.
we'll see you around, and I hope you're staying safe as well. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. So thank you all. Thank you, everyone who was asking questions in the comments. That was a really great show. I hope um, we answered as many of the questions as we could. Again, we say this quite often. We get hundreds and hundreds of questions during these live shows, and it would take us many hours to answer all of them. So, unfortunately, we cannot answer them live. We will try to answer a few of them in the comments. And if you guys were really interested and enjoyed the show, please let us know. We'll try to do a similar one again and try to answer some more of your questions in the next live as well. Um, so, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be live again at 6 p.m. tomorrow So you can join us for that live show on both Facebook and YouTube. And again, thank you guys for joining us. So until next time, you can stay tuned and stay glamorous.